From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
An investigation that started back in May, believed to be an arson, is now one step closer to solving it thanks to surveillance camera footage. I'm Cody Boyer in Belgrade with the latest from police coming up.
The federal government is on the verge of not just a federal shutdown, but also a potential default on our debt. We explain the impacts to your family and your wallet coming up.
Well, oh my gosh, what a beautiful shot that is. That's
breathtaking.
Lovely morning from high atop the Montana State University campus at 6:30. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwood with you here. Final day of September, feeling very fall-like out there right now. It is brisk. It's beautiful, but it's brisk.
Yeah, there's some frost out there for sure with those early morning temperatures, clear skies, calm winds. We've talked about it before. A perfect combination this time of year to see cool temperatures, and that's what we're seeing.
Like you said, frost on the pumpkins.
That's right. A lot of frost on the pumpkins in West Yellowstone. 14 degrees our temperature in West. Wow. 23 in Butte, 25 in Belgrade. It is absolutely stunning outside. You look at our Bozeman planner for today. The temperatures are going to rebound nicely back into the 60s. You need those coats or jackets on the way out the door for the kids. Hint, hint. To my kids. Hopefully they're not awake by now. But
or they're not in their locker because they left them there yesterday.
Yeah, well, that could be true. Beautiful morning in Butte as well. It's nice because our air quality is good across the board, so I'm not going to report much on that. I'm just going to report on the good stuff.
Oh, I love that. A good stuff Thursday.
We'll have more good stuff coming up in about 10 minutes.
We'll look for the good stuff. Thank you, Matt. 6:31, our top story this half hour. Belgrade police say they now need your help in solving what they believe was an arson. It's a story we brought you first months ago. It all started when the family-run Rocky Mountain Car Wash, which is under construction, burned down. Dane's Cody Boyer returns to the scene with new evidence provided by Belgrade detectives.
It's an investigation that's dated all the way back to May, when Belgrade City Police as well as the Central Valley Fire Department both say they believe this fire that started here at this car wash just off of Jackrabbit Lane is believed to have been caused by arson. And now they've revealed the surveillance camera footage that shows why they believe that. Take a look. Now, according to investigators, the report says back then in May that the fire reported around 3:30 in the morning on that Sunday morning. It was reported that it began in a stack of boxes of plastic plumbing pipe here at Rocky Mountain Car Wash. Now, the flames burned up the walls along plastic concrete forms used in the construction of the car wash itself. The fire then spread to the wooden roof and to each bay of the car wash as burning wood fell from the roof. Evidence back then allegedly indicated that an unknown individual entered the mechanical room, as you saw in the video, and again you can see it now where the boxes were located, and then ignited that fire and then ran away on foot. And that started the investigation. The property loss itself is estimated to have been around $750,000. And again, no firefighters or investigators were injured in this incident. They hope, Belgrade City Police hope, that with the release of this footage, they are one step closer to finding out who did this.
It's important because we're trying to develop additional leads, trying to hopefully get some resolution for the folks whose property was damaged. We want to get the right people held accountable for what happened. We're hoping that the public might have some information that can lead us to the person or people that we need to talk to.
Now, anyone who has any information is asked by the Belgrade City Police to call them at 406-388-4262. Here in Belgrade, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
6:33 on the national scene now. Democrats say this morning that negotiations on Capitol Hill will keep government from shutting down tomorrow. Lawmakers need to fund the government past midnight tonight and raise the debt ceiling by mid-October so the U.S. doesn't default on its loans. If they can't, experts say it would trigger a financial crisis. Senate Republicans so far are blocking steps to address the pair of fiscal threats in protest of Democrats' massive spending plans paid for by raising taxes on corporations and the wealthy. Those spending priorities are also bumping up against a self-imposed deadline. The House is expected to vote today on a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. But progressive Democrats are threatening to tank it if moderates within their party don't commit to separate multi-trillion-dollar plan for health care, education, and climate programs. So what happens during a government shutdown? Most recent shutdown was a partial 5-week shutdown that started December 2018, stretched to January of 2019. Congressional Budget Office estimates that shutdown delayed $18 billion in federal discretionary spending and interrupted access to federal permits, certifications, and loans. Looking back to the 17-day 2013 federal government shutdown, White House Office of Management and Budget found federal employee furloughs totaled 6.6 million workdays. National Park Service estimated it led to over $500 million in lost visitor spending nationwide. It delayed home loan decisions for 8,000 low-income families in rural communities and paused some veteran services, including services that help veterans understand their benefits, hotlines, and education counseling. Now, Congress is continuing to scramble to prevent that government shutdown this Friday, but that legislation isn't expected to solve a separate financial crisis potentially facing our country, one that involves the U.S. defaulting. Our Joe St. George has a closer look at the debt limit and how a default could affect you.
Washington continues on a path toward financial uncertainty. The most urgent issue impacting you, a possible partial government shutdown on Friday. While Congress is taking steps to avoid this today, enter issue number 2, raising the debt ceiling. The legislation that will keep the government funded and open is not increasing the debt limit. Think of the debt ceiling and the debt limit as America's credit card limit, which allows our country to pay its bills. Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen has said if Congress doesn't raise it by October 18th, America will begin defaulting on its bills for the very first time in history. Yellen telling Congress this week what that would mean.
This would be a manufactured crisis, and it would be a self-inflicted wound of enormous proportions.
How would a default impact you? Well, the impact may be greater than you think. Take, for example, Social Security checks. In a government shutdown, which you may be more familiar with, checks still go out. But if the government defaults, checks would likely be delayed. Military pay in a shutdown, pay is suspended, and that is true in a default as well. How about the child tax credit payment? In a shutdown, payments would still likely go out, but in a default, payments will likely be suspended. A default also is poised to negatively impact federal workers and their paychecks too, not to mention raise interest rates on loans and negatively impact the markets. If you are wondering why this debt debate is taking place, Republican leaders have said they don't want to raise it over concerns the current debt is too high, with the possibility of even more Democratic spending on the horizon. Democrats, meanwhile, have said they believe this is a bipartisan problem and it requires a bipartisan solution. Democrats do have the authority to pass this on their own, however, without Republican votes, but so far that has been rejected over concerns that it would procedurally take too long. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
6:37 now. Nearly 12 million people in the United States have adopted a pet during the pandemic by some estimates. It means an increased caseload for veterinarians who are struggling to keep up with care. As Chris Conte shows us, they aren't the only ones dealing with an increased burden.
No adventure too big for a dog this small.
You're very cute.
For Frank, the Chihuahua Pug mix, size never mattered much. More about the joy he brought to Lindsay Cohen's life the day he was adopted back in 2015.
I had been looking for a small dog, and Frank came into the Seattle Animal Shelter. They didn't know much about him.
This Seattle resident quickly found out Frank was up for as much adventure as she was. A perfect pair, especially as the world began to close down because of COVID.
Having this constant and having an animal who will love you unconditionally was such an important part of getting through the pandemic for me.
Lindsay always knew that her senior dog had some health issues that just seemed to get worse as the pandemic dragged on.
There was so much uncertainty in the world, and I just, had really hoped that we could hold on to him as long as we could.
Then, one day, a few weeks before Christmas, Frank was gone.
We took him to the emergency vet, and he, as soon as they took him in, he died in the ER. And so it was really hard. It's really hard.
That loss is it's felt so much greater. The emptiness at home that people feel.
As a veterinary social worker, Christina Malloy is seeing families struggle more recently with the loss of a pet. So much so that she now is running a pet loss support group.
A lot of what I do is I validate the feelings that people are experiencing. I validate that grief, that it is real.
Veterinary doctors, nurses, and staff are also having a tough time. Vet clinics across the country are seeing increased demand because so many people have adopted dogs during COVID. There's an estimated shortage of nearly 7,000 veterinarians in the U.S. They are suffering from fatigue, depression, and burnout. Veterinarians also face a higher rate of suicide compared to other professions. The latest numbers from the CDC show nearly 400 veterinarians died by suicide between 1979 and 2015.
I'm just here for our staff to have a place to use their voice.
Back in Seattle, it's not all tears for Lindsay Cohen.
Oh my God. He's a two-hander as I jump.
Oh my goodness.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi.
A few weeks after losing Frank, some friends gently nudged Lindsay to try fostering.
He was rescued off the streets of Tijuana.
That is how she ended up with Otis. After 2 weeks in foster care, he became Lindsay's permanent companion.
Otis, bump it. Yeah, good bumping.
And while her heart still aches for the dog she lost, she has found a new friend to help her move forward.
There's a face kiss. There's an arm kiss.
I'm Chris Conti.
6:41. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Broadway shows are just opening and already one is closed because of the COVID. After the break, find out how that happened. But first, let's check in with Gail King to see what's coming up at 7 o'clock.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS Mornings, R. Kelly accuser Asriel Clary speaks with us exclusively. It's her first interview since the verdict. She explains her decision to take the stand against the singer after previously defending him very vigorously. And only on CBS Mornings, a former employee at Blue Origin talks about her experience at the space company, why she and others are raising concerns about the safety and workplace culture there. And basketball legend, who is certainly that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talks about the NBA's strict new COVID protocols and why he says the league must take even more action. He's got a lot to say about that. We'll see you 7 o'clock, straight out.